I got too political? My bad. I just don't know if I'll be able to own a credit card without my husband's permission in 7 days.
With the election just days away, TikTokers are losing their minds and spreading viral lies to millions of people. We're going to break down this crazy story and so much more on today's episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast, my daily show where I take on the craziest ideas from across the internet and across our politics, all from an independent perspective. So up first today, we've got to tackle this ultra viral video. It's already received nearly 5 million views in just 24 hours, featuring a ton of left-wing TikTok influencers teaming up to explain why it's so important that they get politically active right now, and spreading some insane conspiracy theories and misinformation in the process. Let's take a listen.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I just don't know if I'll be able to own a credit card without my husband's permission in 7 days.
What?
Oh, did I get too political? My bad. I just don't know if I want to get rid of overtime in 7 days.
Oh, I've gotten too political? My bad. I just want to make sure I have access to birth control in 7 days.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I guess I don't know if I'm going to be a U.S. citizen in 7 days.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I'm just worried I won't be able to love who I love in 7 days.
Oh, did I get political? My bad. I just don't want my mother to be denied her health care because she has a pre-existing condition.
Oh, I'm being too political? My bad. I'm just fighting for the future of my daughter.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. It's just that I don't know if my family in Western North Carolina will be warned of the hurricane coming in 7 days when the National Weather Service is gone.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I don't want them to start rounding up immigrants to deport in 7 days.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. The only reason I have a daughter is because of IVF.
Oh, I got too political? I just don't really want JD Vance tracking my periods in 7 days.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I don't want Trump to take over the Board of Education, put in his lackeys, his loyalists, and have y'all continue to think that Puerto Rico is not a part of America. Open the schools.
Maybe people think you guys are too political because you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to politics. So people just want you to shut up and stick in your regular influencer lane or whatever. I mean, this is so funny because they're saying in 7 days, like talking about the election. But even if Trump won the election, he wouldn't take power until January 20th when he would be inaugurated. Biden would still be president until then. So the whole 7 days thing, why it might be kind of a gimmick, is literally untrue. Yet not just the framing of this video and its multi-million viral message is wrong, but also almost all of the specific claims are untrue or exaggerated. And we're going to go through them one by one.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I just don't know if I'll be able to own a credit card without my husband's permission in 7 days.
First, literally nobody is taking women's ability to get credit cards without their husband away. Like, you just made that up. That's a lie. And you're discrediting some of the real concerns that people have about some Republicans' views or comments about women by just pushing made-up nonsense to millions of people.
Oh, did I get too political? My bad. I just don't know if I want to get rid of overtime in 7 days.
And Trump does not have any plan to get rid of mandatory time and a half for overtime. That's just not true. There is some limitations to mandatory overtime pay, although not an elimination, in Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation's visionary plan, but Trump has repeatedly condemned that plan and has never endorsed that specific idea anywhere himself. In fact, he's actually campaigning on no taxes on overtime, which would mean that people who work overtime would get more take-home pay.
Oh, I've gotten too political? My bad. I just want to make sure I have access to birth control in 7 days.
The birth control one is kind of complicated. I don't think anybody's really talking, at least mainstream Republicans, Trump, Vance, aren't talking about taking away the birth control pill. It does get complicated on things like the day after pill. There's some people who don't support some forms of IUD access. And of course, when you get into actual abortion regulation, they are trying to strictly regulate that. But most of that energy and that action is actually happening at the state level and would likely continue regardless of who wins the presidency. And I think the Trump-Vance position on these issues is a lot more moderate than this video is implying.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I guess I don't know if I'm going to be a U.S. citizen in 7 days.
And Trump is not going to revoke the citizenship of actual U.S. citizens willy-nilly. He couldn't do that even if he wanted to legally. Now, he is trying to get rid of birthright citizenship, the fact that in America, if you're born here, you're automatically a citizen. And that's a conversation for another time, but he also probably can't actually go through with that because legally I think he'd run into trouble. And it would only be going forward. It wouldn't apply to current citizens. Remember, guys, Trump was president once, and the only time he ever went after anybody's citizenship was in rare cases where, for example, they committed very serious crimes as naturalized U.S. citizens, or there was some reason to believe they committed fraud and lied in their application process to become a citizen. But by and large, he didn't just revoke people's citizenship, and there's no reason to believe he would a second time around, or that if he tried to, he would be allowed to by the courts. That's just hysteria and fear-mongering. And again, it detracts from the very real conversations and debates to be had about a lot of Trump's positions on immigration when you just push this hysterical nonsense.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I'm just worried I won't be able to love who I love in 7 days.
And I rolled my eyes so hard I might have given myself brain damage with the I won't be able to love who I love in 7 days one. Give me a break. Trump is literally fine with gay people. He supports gay marriage. He hosted a freaking gay wedding at Mar-a-Lago this year. And in his first presidency, he didn't do anything to stop people from loving who they love. Like, he does not care about that. You can say so many things about this man, but the idea that he's going to restrict gay people from being gay is just absurd. Nonsensical. It's false.
Did I get political? My bad. I just don't want my mother to be denied her health care because she has a pre-existing condition.
The one about Obamacare and eliminating protections for people with pre-existing conditions is a little complicated. I think Trump does, at least in the past, has supported getting rid of Obamacare, as have many Republicans, and that's a complicated conversation for another day because there's tons of problems with Obamacare and it really hasn't worked out very well. But I do think that if they do go forward with some sort of removal, they're going to have some sort of plan for people with pre-existing conditions, because that is an important thing that people in both parties do want to protect. I would be shocked, and I really don't think it will happen, that they just screw over those people and leave them fending for themselves. Highly doubt that one.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. It's just that I don't know if my family in Western North Carolina will be warned of the hurricane coming in 7 days when the National Weather Service is gone.
And the thing about hurricane forecasting is, again, a Project 2025 narrative. They keep claiming that Project 2025 is going to eliminate the department of the federal government that warns people about natural disasters like hurricanes. Even PolitiFact has fact-checked this and found this not to be true. Again, Trump doesn't even support Project 2025, so there's really no reason to believe he would actually do this. But even the actual Project 2025 document calls for downsizing that department and outsourcing some of its functions to private companies who might do it more efficiently. But nobody's trying to get rid of important warnings for people that hurricanes are coming. No matter what, that will still be provided in some form.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. I don't want them to start rounding up immigrants to deport in 7 days.
As for this whole notion about rounding up immigrants, they're doing this very frustrating thing that they often do, progressive types, where they say immigrants when the truth is illegal immigrants. Yes, Trump wants to do mass deportation of illegal immigrants, people without documents who are here in this country unlawfully. And I actually don't support that. I've talked about this before. I think we should deport people who've committed serious crimes or welfare fraud, but then the rest we should find a pathway to legal status while securing our border and stopping the flow. But it is not crazy, insane, or dystopian to deport people from your country who aren't supposed to be there. I mean, Obama deported millions of people, and they weren't calling him a fascist. Now, were they? So, again, I find the hysteria about this and the dishonest framing as if he's going to deport legal immigrants, which he's not, and he couldn't just do, totally disingenuous. And again, more fear-mongering that distracts from legitimate debate to be had over the merits of his actual position, which I do find lacking in the actual specifics and details.
Oh, I got too political? My bad. The only reason I have a daughter is because of IVF.
And the whole IVF thing runs into a similar problem where both Trump and Vance literally say they support IVF. Trump is even saying he wants free taxpayer-funded IVF.
Under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women.
And yet this person in this viral video to millions of people is telling them Trump's going to take away your IVF. Like, do they know what they're saying is wrong and they just don't care and they're lying? Or are they just so deeply ensconced in echo chambers and ideological bubbles that they actually think that's what Trump believes? I honestly don't know.
Oh, I got too political? I just don't really want JD Vance tracking my periods in 7 days.
And yeah, the whole thing about JD Vance tracking your periods is more hysteria and nonsense. Like, give it a rest.
I got too political. My bad. I don't want Trump to take over the Board of Education, put in his lackeys, his loyalists, and have y'all continue to think that Puerto Rico is not a part of America. Open the schools.
And I laughed out loud at the influencer who said, Trump's going to stack the Board of Education. She meant the Department of Education. She literally doesn't even know what federal agency she is talking about, yet she's lecturing us about being uneducated and Republicans having bad ideas about education. Babe, look in the mirror. And the fact that she's saying open the schools, and that's why Americans, some at least, don't think Puerto Rico is part of America. First off, I never want a Democrat to tell me open the schools after so many of their Democratic governors kept schools closed at the behest of teachers unions for far too long during the pandemic and attacked Republicans who were sticking their neck out there and opening schools. Never say that again to me, because it is absolutely maddening and hypocritical. And two, the public schools are open and people are still coming out pretty ignorant by and large. So maybe, just maybe, the Republicans actually have a point and we need to try school choice as an alternative. Now look, guys, I'm not telling anybody who to support in the election or more broadly. I just want people to make informed decisions that are based in reality and based in the positions that people actually hold, not fake news and hysterical fear porn spread to millions of people on TikTok. And it's so deeply ironic and maddening to me that Democrats and progressives are constantly complaining about misinformation. And yet, honestly, libs on TikTok and woke people online are some of the biggest purveyors and spreaders of misinformation and fake news in all of American life today. These people, they give InfoWars and Alex Jones a run for their money. Now, the conspiracies and fake news looks different and sounds different. It often sounds more polished. It often receives fewer fact checks because mainstream media fact checkers are incredibly biased, both in how they fact check and what they fact check. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still deeply misleading and not true. And guys, ignore all of this hysteria. Okay, from the woke TikTok people, but also from some people like Elon Musk who are claiming that if Kamala wins, it will be the last election ever. She is a communist. America will never recover. The same way they're saying like 7 days to save democracy or our country dies. None of this is true. No matter who wins, our country will be okay. We have a resilient nation with strong institutions that has, if you zoom out a little bit and you look at it through a historical lens, has gone through some crazy shit, some far more intense shit than even what we're dealing with now. And I want you all to just, if you get one takeaway from this, it's to not believe the hype and not kid yourself for a minute that whichever way the election goes, America is somehow doomed or going to be destroyed. That's not true. They say that every time to scare you and get you to hand over more of your money and to do what they want, but it is not true. We're going to be okay. Take a deep breath and try to tune out all the insane, crazy people saying absolutely fake and untrue things online. Anybody else? I just can't wait for this shit to be over and done with. I'm getting spammed with so many annoying, false, and misleading ads constantly because I'm here in Michigan. It's just, I can't wait for this whole thing to be over, honestly. But you let me know what you think about the election and about this TikTok misinformation in the comment section below. And do hit that like button while you're at it. Remember, guys, I do read the comments and I pick a few to respond to in every episode. So do leave your comment below. And if you leave your comment with a super chat or a super thanks, I'll definitely respond to it on tomorrow's show.